Do you want to go on a Disney World vacation, but you're already exhausted thinking about all the lines and the crowds and the lack of personal space? We're here to show you how to survive Disney World even when it's packed. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. There are 3 things that I really have to brace myself for every time I go to Disney World. Price hikes, heat exhaustion, and crowds. We're talking so many people everywhere. Even during their slow seasons, Disney World still has thousands upon thousands of guests swarming their parks each day. But if navigating those crowds is the sole reason why you haven't locked in your big Disney World vacation yet, let me show you how to juggle the parks, the hotels, and Disney Springs in ways that'll even make the busiest day more manageable and more fun. So, Epcot has 2 separate entrances. The more popular and more crowded entrance tends to be at the front of the park, which will put you right where Spaceship Earth is. And the less popular and therefore less crowded entrance is at the back of the park, Epcot's International Gateway, which is located right between the France Pavilion and the UK Pavilion. The World Showcase is always less crowded before everything officially opens up for the day, since most pavilion offerings won't open till 11 a.m. However, the rides in all of those World Showcase pavilions open right as early theme park entry starts. So if you use the International Gateway, you'll be right there next to Remy's Ratatouille Adventure just as soon as you enter into Epcot, giving you a straight shot at being one of the first folks in line for it at the start of the day. Then you can go over to Les Halles and have a nice, relaxing breakfast, and then wander through the World Showcase a little bit before all the crowds make their way over there. Waiting in long lines for characters is not the most fun. Waiting no time for the characters with way fewer people surrounding you? Super fun. Now, in the past, being able to see Disney characters pop up around the hotels was a nice hidden treat, but nothing was ever guaranteed. But lately, some of the Disney resorts have scheduled character appearances, so you don't have to gamble on whether or not you'll be visiting a resort when one of these free meet and greets is taking place. Normally, scheduled character appearances take place at Port Orleans French Quarter and Wilderness Lodge, but during Cool Kids Summer, taking place from May 26th to September 8th, you'll also be able to find scheduled character meet and greets at additional hotels, including Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, Pop Century, and Port Orleans Riverside. Okay, this one's weird, I know, but in our personal experience, and as you know, we've got reporters in the parks all day, every day, Disney resorts that have convention centers do tend to have fairly peaceful locations with little to no guests occupying them during the day, just as long as there's not an actual conference going on while you're there. This includes the second floor of the Contemporary Resort near the ballrooms, the dozens of tables in the partnering Swan and Dolphin common spaces, and the Coronado Springs old lobby building. Those places can be ghost towns, y'all, and there's often lots of really comfortable places to sit and relax. Pool days are some of the best Disney days, and while sure, the feature pools at your hotel can start to feel like human soup when the sun's cranked to its max by afternoon, some resorts have really impressive leisure pools too that could still provide you with relief from the heat and a more relaxed atmosphere too. The quietest of the leisure pools is always going to be at the resorts that have the most leisure pools available to help disperse crowds even more. So if quiet pools are what you're after, check out resorts like Disney's Caribbean Beach, which has 5 leisure pools, and Port Orleans Riverside, which has 5 leisure pools as well. Not planning on purchasing Disney's premium Skip the Ride line service, Lightning Lanes, for your upcoming trip, but you also want to check out the upgraded gadgets and gizmos going on at Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin in Magic Kingdom when it reopens? Use that early theme park entry. Early theme park entry gives all Disney World Hotel guests a 30-minute head start to the day in any park. And while you can only use early theme park entry in Magic Kingdom for most rides across Tomorrowland and all the rides in Fantasyland, that does mean Space Ranger Spin falls into that early entry category. So go help Buzz take down Zurg and earn your Galactic Hero title. So, right, early theme park entry doesn't work for Frontierland rides. Sorry, partner, it sure don't. But you can still check out all the fun and fresh Big Thunder Mountain Railroad updates without battling peak crowds. If you're cool with skipping Happily Ever After, or if you think it'd be neat to ride Big Thunder Mountain while the fireworks are going off, plan to take a night ride on the revamped coaster instead. You might also find that ride times for Big Thunder Mountain drop a bit right before one of the parades begins, but never ever try to get in line for Big Thunder Mountain after the last parade float passes through the Frontierland area, because lots of folks in Frontierland who were just watching the parade are gonna flock to the closest attraction they can find, like a moth to a flame. If you chose to rope drop Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios instead of rope drop Rock and Roller Coaster after it gets its big Muppets remodel, which we'll see open later this summer, then you may want to choose Rock and Roller Coaster as one of your multi-pass lightning lane choices. You can pre-select up to 3 lightning lanes before you get to the park, but you can only pre-select 1 lightning lane from the Tier 1 list of rides. Now, usually I recommend pre-selecting Slinky Dog Dash from Hollywood Studios Tier 1 list, and I still do because I love that coaster, but if your priority for this trip is getting on a more high-speed adrenaline racing coaster with Muppet shenanigans to fill the Muppet-shaped hole in your heart, then Rock and Roller Coaster might be a better Tier 1 choice here in 2026. Now, we're talking about a bunch of new stuff, reopening rides, new rides coming, and that is very exciting. But just because history tends to repeat itself here, I can tell you that going to the parks right when something shiny and new makes its debut can be rough. You've got the diehard Disney fans who want to be the first in line, you've got the locals, you've got the casual vacationer who doesn't know what on earth they stumbled into, but they're going to get in line for it anyways because everyone else is. Now, honestly, it's better to visit a Disney park a couple of months after something new opens, just so all the initial hype has died down around the newbie and any of the technical issues that could pop up with a newfangled contraption have hopefully gotten sorted out already. So I would say if you want to avoid those crowds, don't go right when something new opens, give it a couple months, and then you're not going to have to battle all of those people. But let's flip the script here. Let's say your trip lands during an attraction's opening day or weekend or week anyways. What do you do then? Well, if you're super crowd averse, you may want to use this ride opening to your advantage. Just stay away from the newcomer and go hit up the classic rides instead that might be projecting much shorter wait times while everyone else is waiting for hours just to get on the one new ride. Then you can purchase or use an after-hours ticket, which gives you 3 extra hours in a park after everyone else is required to leave, to experience the new stuff once the park has been cleared out and capped off at a limited number of guests. Now, if you want to learn more about things like multi-pass and single pass and lightning lanes in general, I'm talking a lot about those today, pick up our free Maximizing Your Lightning Lanes guide by scanning the QR code you see on the screen now, or by clicking the link in the description for disneyfoodblog.com/multipass after this. A few of Disney's ride exits have secluded benches or peaceful indoor sections where you can just sit and take a breather, even if you're not going on the ride just yet. Some of the best and most serene ride exits that our DFB reporters have been able to track down are the indoor area for Mission Space in Epcot, just past the Tower Hotel gift shop in Hollywood Studios, and the benches along Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail right after Kilimanjaro Safaris in Animal Kingdom. If you want to see the Festival of Fantasy Parade or the brand new Disney Starlight Parade with Cinderella Castle in the background, but you're afraid the crowds are going to be too much for you, check and see if the second level of the train station right above the park entrance is going to be open during the show, because if it is, you'll have fewer crowds and a great angle on all those floats passing by. It's one of our favorite secret tips that, we're just not going to gatekeep. Even our DFB reporters get overwhelmed by the sheer amount of people that file into the parks on any given day, which is why our reporters have tracked down what they've deemed as escape pods, or little pockets of peace inside the parks that don't attract high crowds, making them perfect and reliable places to decompress any day that you're there. Some of our reporters' favorite escape pods are the little side galleries you can find all around Epcot's World Showcase Pavilion, like the House of the Whispering Willows Gallery and the China Pavilion, or the Gallery of Arts and History in the Morocco Pavilion. The animal walking paths around Animal Kingdom, like you'll find around the Discovery Island trails, I usually only see literally one person there, if anybody. The Maharaja Jungle Trek and the Gorilla Falls Trail. The Tomorrowland Terrace seating area in Magic Kingdom, since it's not used during the day, only for the fireworks parties at night, and the Walt Disney Presents self-guided walk-through gallery inside Hollywood Studios. Not sure why nobody goes in there, but they don't. Believe it or not, some of our favorite table service restaurants aren't necessarily the busiest. In fact, many of our favorites tend to have last-minute dining reservations more often than not. In our DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining over on the dfbstore.com website, we've got a whole section of our digital guidebook dedicated to popular Disney World dining spots and their alternatives. But for now, I'll show you a sneak peek of that section, and you can go check out the full list for yourself whenever you get the chance to pick up our guide. Chef Mickey's is a hip, happening and character dining buffet over in the Contemporary Resort, but for a character dining buffet with similar characters and even better food to choose from, Tusker House in Animal Kingdom tends to be a little more chill. I also love Garden Grill in Epcot, as you know, for its unique circular and slowly rotating dining room setup, because that's awesome, which helps keep you more spaced out from other guests and makes it a whole lot easier for the characters to keep coming up to you multiple times in a single visit. And Chef Art Smith's Homecoming in Disney Springs can be extremely popular, especially during their weekend brunch, but the Grand Floridian Cafe and the Grand Floridian Resort offers brunch all week long and in a much more serene setting. Sure, you could book a fireworks dining or dessert package to get VIP views of Magic Kingdom's Happily Ever After or Epcot's Luminous, but what if I told you that you could book a fireworks experience that literally takes you miles away from civilization for the most private Disney fireworks viewing experience of all? Fireworks cruises are available to book for the Magic Kingdom area resort marinas, as well as the Yacht and Beach Club Marina too. During either cruise, your private group of up to 10 cruisers will board a pontoon boat where you'll be treated to an assortment of snacks and beverages and, of course, a gorgeous, unique view of the fireworks spectacular with literally nobody else around. Besides your captain, of course, but they'll be cool. It's inevitable. Theme park crowds will peak by the afternoon. Happens every day. But that doesn't mean you have to slow down on all your theme park fun. This is the perfect time to check out Disney's less popular, but still super fun attractions, like the various animatronic stage shows in Magic Kingdom, the Seas Pavilion in Epcot, the brand new Zootopia Better Together show inside Animal Kingdom's Tree of Life, and some of the live entertainment shows in Hollywood Studios. So depending on when you're in Magic Kingdom, I might retract a little bit of what I just said. Coming soon, Carousel of Progress over in Tomorrowland will be updating its introduction to include an animatronic figure of Walt Disney himself. Remember how I said earlier that attractions are way more busy on their opening day? Yeah, Carousel of Progress is usually a walk-on, but the first day Robo Walt takes to the stage is probably going to be the busiest this show has been maybe ever. So perhaps pick a different chill attraction in the area to turn to during those opening days instead. Might I suggest, I don't know, the People Mover? Come on, my fellow members of the unofficial People Mover fan club knew I had to get that in here somewhere. It's been a while since I've talked about it. Epcot's been all about the reimagining lately. Last year, Test Track got a major update that made it more reminiscent of the long-gone World of Motion attraction that used to be in Epcot way back when, my favorite. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure took away its 3D element so that fewer people would feel motion sick by it. And Frozen Ever After got some stunning new animatronics that make it look like the characters literally walked out of their films and onto the ride. Now, Frozen Ever After doesn't have a single rider option, but Remy's and Test Track do. So if you decide to lock in a multi-pass purchase for this park when you know you're going during one of its busy seasons, choose Frozen Ever After as your Tier 1 Lightning Lane pre-selection, because if need be, you can always split up your group and use single rider for Test Track and Remy's instead to help cut down your wait. When you create an itinerary for your park day, make sure to factor in some wiggle room, because if things feel busy in a certain section of the park, you can say, peace out Girl Scout, and move on to plan B. For example, Galaxy's Edge and Hollywood Studios can get super crowded by the afternoon, but once the sun starts setting and people start moving towards the front of the park to get ready for Fantasmic, you can actually take your time and wander this area without feeling like a sardine in a can. So if things are really, really packed where you are, go to another area of the park, because it can really loosen up over there. This is something our reporters find all the time. It'll feel super crowded in one place, but then just be a ghost town in another area of the park. So use your flexibility. We are so ready to see a Disney Springs new interactive mega arcade experience, and Level 99 is opening up this year. But we're also ready to see it super packed after it opens. Considering Disney Springs is notorious for being busier on the weekends and at night, I think it's safe to say Level 99 is probably going to be the same. So if you want a less busy experience going on scavenger hunts and taking on duels in the arena and gulping down Detroit-style pizza, I'd say your best bet is coming here on a weekday, first thing in the morning. Y'all, it's back, or at least kind of. Hollywood Studios is bringing back a version, much smaller, mind you, of the old iconic Mickey Sorcerer's hat that we used to have back when Hollywood Studios was still MGM Studios. This is going to be more like the one that's currently at the animation building in California. Now, you're going to be able to find the hat inside the new Walt Disney Studios, which is replacing Animation Courtyard, over there in Hollywood Studios, and should be opening later this summer. Now, something tells me this magical hat's going to be a popular photo spot when it goes live for the public, so if you want to try and get a picture with it before all the crowds start photobombing your shot, we're probably going to have to treat this photo op like we treat other iconic Disney photo ops. Come here first thing in the morning while everyone else is busy funneling into other sections of Hollywood Studios. Whether you're trying to get back to your hotel or escape the crowds right after Fantasmic ends, you need to know about this walking path straight out of Hollywood Studios and over to the Boardwalk Inn Resort. This sneaky walkway is just beyond the Boardwalk Villas area near Atlantic Dance Hall. For the record, the walk itself is kind of lengthy, a little over 1 mile, which can take 25 to 30 minutes if you're going at a pretty leisurely pace. So it might not be your favorite idea ever if your feet are already killing you at the end of the day, but when you take this path, you're not going to be waiting for transportation, there's no getting stuck in post-show traffic, and you'll have 0 lines to worry about. It's just you and the path and maybe a few ducks. If you're waiting to check out a certain Epcot festival in 2026, minus the real serious crowds, your best bet is checking things out during the middle of the festival and in the middle of the week. The very first and very last days of a festival tend to be the peak of festival crowds, while the weekends stay consistently busy when the locals roll in. So, same thing as level 99, early in the day, middle of the week. Disney's value resorts have started working with domestic Southwest Airlines flights and Orlando International Airport to provide a skip the baggage claim perk for their guests. This means Southwest passengers can have their bags delivered directly to their value resort and back to the airport again at the end of their vacation, minus all the extra baggage checking and baggage claim crowd frenzy. If you want to learn more about how this new bag perk works, then be sure to check out our post all about it on the DFB website. I'll even link the post for you down in the description below. Animal Kingdom isn't looking like her best self lately. Between Dinoland USA shutting down to make way for Pueblo Esperanza opening in 2027, and Rafiki's Planet Watch and the Wildlife Express train being temporarily unavailable as the park paves the way for Bluey and Bingo to make their grand debut, there's just a whole lot less to do here right now. But then again, maybe this is the perfect time for you crowd-averse folks to get out there and plan a trip to this park. Because Animal Kingdom's going to be hopping next year after Encanto and Indiana Jones welcome us into Pueblo Esperanza. So if you want to see Animal Kingdom when all is still quiet on the home front, maybe 2026 is your year to see Animal Kingdom after all, even if it might end up just being a half-day park for ya. It's okay, we'll admit it, bathroom stalls are a great reset when you're at your crowd limit. You sit, you do your business, you don't interact with anyone for the next few minutes. If you're looking for the most private bathroom escapes across the parks, we highly recommend the restrooms behind Gaston's Tavern at Magic Kingdom, the American Adventure Pavilion bathrooms in Epcot, the restrooms by Sunset Showcase Theater, the home of Unfairly Ever After in Hollywood Studios, and the bathrooms by Finding Nemo, the Big Blue and Beyond in Animal Kingdom. You're welcome. Something else that'll be happening during Cool Kids Summer this year, the free hotel water park perk is returning. And what's going to make this perk even better is that both water parks are going to be open at the same time. So you can choose which water park you want to visit for free on your hotel check-in day. Because this perk is only available for you to use on that hotel check-in day, arriving in the Disney bubble sooner rather than later is going to be of the utmost importance. Because if you arrive a couple hours after rope drop, you'll miss out on prime slide hours before the crowds get all filled up. And if there's anything worse than waiting in a long Disney line, it's waiting in a long Disney line while you're wet. It might benefit your group to arrive in or just outside the Orlando area the night before you're supposed to check into your Disney hotel. That way, it'll be a whole lot easier for you to arrive at the water park of your choosing right when rope drop happens, which is usually around 10 a.m., though times are subject to change. Look, I enjoy the high energy of the Disney hotels as much as the next guy, but sometimes when all you're really after is some peace and quiet after multiple park days on end, the Pop Century crowd can be a little bit much, and the monorail resorts can just have way too much foot traffic for my liking. While the free transportation convenience isn't as prevalent at resorts like Coronado Springs and Animal Kingdom Lodge and Old Key West and Saratoga, there's something to be said about how serene these places can be. There are also great options if you're traveling with your old people who may appreciate the break from back-to-back in-your-face Disney characters and excited children for hours on end. And by old people, I mean people like me. If you want more transportation convenience without sacrificing that nice, serene Disney hotel feel, I'd also recommend either Wilderness Lodge or Fort Wilderness. While they're still technically Magic Kingdom area resorts, they don't have all the monorail foot traffic, and yet they still have boat transportation to and from Magic Kingdom. You might not want to hear it, but I gotta tell you anyways, it's for your own good. If you truly want to avoid the crowds as much as feasibly possible, you're gonna want to avoid the areas of the parks that sell Starbucks, because it doesn't matter where you are, people love them their Starbies. If you need a Starbucks hit, you can always use the Starbucks mobile order app to skip the physical line for the Starbucks locations in Disney Springs, the one in the Marketplace next to World of Disney, or the one on the west side next to the Aerophile Balloon Dock. Otherwise, you're gonna have to stand in line to order your Starbucks in the park, since mobile order isn't available for those locations, even on the My Disney Experience app. Otherwise, you may want to try one of the Joffrey's coffee kiosks, which are usually less busy, or you can brew yourself a cup of joe in your hotel room before you leave for the day. If your kid is getting super burnt out waiting in long ride lines, and quite frankly, so are you, try participating in a few park side quests that don't require you to wait in any queue lines, but still allow you and the family to do fun Disney-filled stuff. These include things like the DuckTales World Showcase Adventure using the free Play Disney Parks app in Epcot, a Pirates Adventure, Treasures of the Seven Seas in Magic Kingdom, Wilderness Explorers at Animal Kingdom, or the Star Wars Datapad in Hollywood Studios, also via the Play Disney Parks app. Now, a lot of the points I've talked about today encourage you to go early to the parks, like during early theme park entry, or at least by rope drop. So here's me turning the tables yet again. When you arrive at a park's front gates before their opening hours, there will more than likely be a sea of people there. You didn't do anything wrong. That's just what happens when you gather a whole bunch of bodies in a rather small front gate area. When the park opens, those crowds immediately disperse and you'll no longer feel as suffocated by the whole thing. But if those kinds of crowds really get to you, I'd recommend holding off and maybe getting to the parks an hour or two after park opening instead. You might have missed prime time for the short ride lines, but getting up to the park's front gates will be a whole lot more breathable. All right, friends, it's lightning round time. Time to hit you with a few tried and true crowd escaping techniques that we've kept by our side for many years. Bria and I talked about this and we decided not to kind of work these into the primary portion of the video because a lot of this stuff you've heard before, but it's still very good stuff when it comes to avoiding crowds. So we wanted to give you all the new stuff first, and now here's the tried and true, definitely do this stuff no matter what. Okay? Number 1, avoid traveling during extended weekends. Sometimes going to Disney World during those long weekends like Labor Day or Memorial Day can't be avoided. But if you have more flexibility in your schedule or you've saved up vacation days, it may be better to spend those vacation days and invest them toward a Disney trip that's not going to have you pushing past hordes of guests your entire visit. I'm recording this right during President's Day weekend, and I just know that the crowds are going to be bonkers this weekend, and my heart is already breaking for everybody who's going to be there and didn't kind of plan ahead for that. Number 2, invest in TSA pre-check. If you want to skip the forever long lines for Orlando International Airport security checks when you're trying to get back home post Orlando, you can always invest in TSA pre-check, which allows authorized travelers to skip the long wait and hop into that separate line at security, like a lightning lane for plane rides. Next, find those baby care centers. If your kid seems to be getting overstimulated by all the hustle and bustle buzzing around them, you might want to track down one of the baby care centers in each of the parks. The baby care centers give you and your kid, your toddler, your younger kid, your older kid, a chance to cool down. You can take a breather, maybe settle in for a snack, have a diaper change, or even a quick cat nap. Use mobile checkout. The My Disney Experience app has a merchandise mobile checkout feature for the most popular Disney gift shops on site. The last time I was in Disney World with my husband, who absolutely hates crowds and hates waiting, he was like aghast at how fabulous the mobile checkout was for us at World of Disney. He was like, oh my gosh, this is a dream come true. So just select the store you're currently standing in, and the app will walk you through the rest of the checkout process from there. Basically, you skip the line, you just scan the stuff you want to buy, and you only talk to one cast member on the way out, and they make sure you actually paid for your stuff. And DoorDash. Listen, if you are super peopled out, like to the extreme, you can always do what I do. Wave the white flag, go back to your hotel room, and DoorDash food to your hotel lobby. Then you can pick it up and enjoy it back in your room with nobody else around except for you. Maybe your family if you want, but you don't have to. And just watch golf on TV. That's what I do. Okay, so a crowded Disney World vacation doesn't mean a bad Disney World vacation. So if you've got other questions about handling Disney at its most crowded times, then let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to check out our other latest Disney World tips and tricks videos, including the 50 easy tricks for your 2026 Disney World trip. And be sure to download our free lightning lane guide right now over at disneyfoodblog.com/multipass. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.